Hello, awards watchers. I'm Daniel Montgomery, Gold Derby senior editor, here with my fellow editors, Marcus James Dixon and Denton Davidson. We're here to talk about the SAG Award nominations, and we're going to focus in this slugfest on the film nominations. We have covered the television nominations in a separate slugfest, so you can watch that as well. For best ensemble, you've got House of Gucci, Coda. I've already forgotten the others.
Belfast and Don't Look Up
Belfast,
and
Don't
King
Look
Richard.
Up, and King Richard. Thank you.
Mhm.
Um, the Screen Actors Guild spread the wealth. House of Gucci leads the way with 3 nominations, tied with The Power of the Dog, which also has 3 nominations, though it's not nominated for Best Cast. So they really kind of went in a lot of weird, different directions with this. We'll start with Marcus. What did you think about the ensemble nominations? Who's in, who's out, and what you were expecting?
I take personal offense for Jesse Plemons because by denying Power of the Dog an ensemble nomination, it's really him that's getting screwed because the other 3, Benedict and Cody and Kristen, they're all in for individuals. So poor Jesse. But, I did not have Coda nominated, but it's my favorite movie of the year. So I'm so happy it got in. And also for Troy, I would have loved to see Marlee Matlin, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, a lot of people at Gold Derby thought Power of the Dog was winning this. So now, is this just a Belfast steamroll? Can anything beat Belfast? I don't know if any of these 4 can.
Yeah, I thought West Side Story was going to win, and then we've heard these things about screeners coming in late, or maybe not everyone had seen it in time, but I still thought they would take this category. I still had The Power of the Dog in, although some people were predicting that wouldn't get in either. I think it's interesting that they have 3 actors nominated, but they weren't able to get in for ensemble, and Belfast and King Richard got in for ensemble, and some of the predicted individual nominations for them, like Aunjanue Ellis and both the supporting actors for Belfast, were snubbed on the individual side. So it's an interesting context there.
Yeah, it is really confusing that I'm not surprised. Like, I wasn't predicting Power of the Dog to get in because I thought, okay, here's a movie that's primarily about 4 people, and 3 of them were bound to get individual noms anyway, which did happen. So I don't think this really hurts that movie any more than it hurt like Green Book or Nomadland not to get ensemble nominations. Like, I don't think it really needed it. But like the fact that Belfast got in while having those 2 big misses, King Richard got in while having that miss for Aunjanue Ellis. Although with the cast nominations, all of those actors are nominated for the ensemble award, just not individually. So yeah, with all of that in balance, I also think Belfast probably wins this, but it looks really tough.
If you have these, so you have Belfast, Coda, and King Richard, which are all sort of these heartwarming family films. Could it just go Don't Look Up, which is a huge, well-known cast?
Mm-hmm.
If those 3 heartfelt films somehow split the vote.
Don't Look Up didn't get any individuals, which is, it should have at least gotten 1 if you would think it's going to win ensemble. Maybe Leo, maybe Meryl. The whole West Side Story snub is interesting to me because, Ariana DeBose got in. She's probably going to win. So I don't know if I buy it that they didn't see it in time. Like, how could they nominate her but not the ensemble? It's strange to me.
Yeah, that's a tough one because I think it's either a case where not enough people saw it in time, and Ariana DeBose is just so strong in the category that she got enough votes anyway, or Ariana DeBose means they saw the movie, they just didn't like it that much from her performance. So it could be one or the other. It's hard to tell.
Right.
I'm not so sure Ariana DeBose wins because of that snub for ensemble. So it's hard to tell. I think it's probably her or Kirsten at this point. Just because, Power of the Dog, they liked it so much, and Belfast, they didn't like the individual performances so much. Ingenue Ellis, who also seemed like a major top contender, didn't get in. But I think it's going to be one of those.
Katrina Balfe, though, she plays the heartwarming character, the mother you want to hug. Like, don't count her out.
I wouldn't totally count her out, but I think she's coming in right now third to the other two. Certainly within striking distance, but judging from how the rest of the season has gone, I think Dunstan DeBose probably a little bit ahead of her.
And King Richard gets in, which really makes me think, Will Smith can't lose this. He was already probably the front runner, but the fact that his film got in for ensemble means is he a lock? I think so.
It could win best cast too. Honestly, I think that's a possibility.
I wouldn't be surprised by that either. I still have Andrew Garfield in first just because I want him there. But I don't know that I won't change that before the awards actually take place.
Yeah, speaking of that best actor race, we did get 4 out of the 5 predicted nominees in that category, which was Andrew Garfield, Will Smith, why am I blanking all the time?
Benedict
Cumberbatch, Power of the Dog, Denzel Washington for The Tragedy of Macbeth, the 5th slot, which was kind of up for grabs. Like, we had Peter Dinklage predicted in there, but I'm not surprised that it went to someone else. I'm not sure I would have predicted that the 5th person would end up being Javier Bardem for being the Ricardos, but I think that's really good news for that film. Even though it didn't get into ensemble, I think it only had 4 of its actors were eligible to get in for that cast anyway. So I don't think that's that much of a snub. So the fact that it got both of its leads in is a vote of confidence for the film as a whole. But I don't think that means Bardem is going to win, but I think it might mean Kidman could.
Yes, I think you're right. Javier Bardem was a surprise in terms of Gold Derby odds. We had him down in 8th place. But it could be because they really liked him or the movie, or you're right, it could be because they like Nicole Kidman so much that they want to, that sometimes fellow actors, co-stars get nominated because they love another performance so much. So that you could be right. She could be, especially with Kristen Stewart getting snubbed. I mean, that actress category is up for grabs.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about the Kristen Stewart snub. I think she was in first place. So that was the only first place contender that we had that was just completely snubbed. So this is totally up in the air. I currently think Jessica Chastain could win this just because it's such a transformative performance. And it could be sort of one of those IOU awards. She's had a great career, and this might be the perfect performance during the perfect year for her.
And Jessica Chastain, she plays the more over-the-top, colorful, literally colorful character compared to Olivia Colman, who is so subtle and so subdued. So it's really going to be interesting to see. I think those are...
And so mean.
Yeah.
Which doesn't always in your favor.
It's a quiet mean. It's not like a throw plates mean. So this is a tough category. I think it's going to be one of those two, but I mean, like we just said, Nicole Kidman could do it. Jennifer Hudson probably is not going to win, but the fact that she got in is really cool for her.
Yeah, it's ironic that we got 4 out of the 5 Best Actress nominees in our odds, and the one who missed was our top ranked.
Yeah. But Jennifer Hudson was 6, so she wasn't like a huge climb either. I mean, she was right outside the bubble. But yeah, it was just surprising that it was Kristen Stewart that she replaced.
Yeah. I think it's a 4-way race. It's no offense to Jennifer Hudson. I don't think she's going to repeat at the Oscars because without Kristen Stewart, like, who has that spot? Like, who is the one to win? I'm also like going with Jessica Chastain for the moment. I'm wondering if we're going to see another one of those like Oscar situations where she doubles up Best Actress and Best Makeup. like we saw with La Vie en Rose with Marion Cotillard and The Iron Lady with Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
So that could happen. Olivia Colman could happen, but she just won so recently. Nicole Kidman could happen. It's been a couple of decades almost since her last Oscar. So, I think she certainly made the case for being a 2-time Oscar winner, without a doubt. But that film, the reception of that film hasn't been like the most glowing. But we've seen the industry actually doesn't share that opinion, so that might not matter. Lady Gaga, probably at this point going to get the nomination. I'm not sure if voters are going to go with an over-the-top performance. I feel like Jessica Chastain has more snob appeal in terms of the type of over-the-top. Plus she has that IOU. So like, honestly, I feel like it's gonna be last year all over again, where we're gonna have a different winner at every event, and then the Oscar is gonna go to whichever one has the Best Picture nominee.
House of Gucci getting in for ensemble here, though, was surprising. So, I mean, they like this film more than we expected. So I initially was like, Lady Gaga has no chance, but she might have a chance. I mean, they really like her film more than the others. She's the only one in there that's an ensemble nominee.
Yeah, and interestingly, she could end up being the only Oscar nominee with the Best Picture nomination in this category, depending on how, Lost Daughter, I feel like, is on the bubble for Best Picture. Being the Ricardos is also kind of on the bubble for Best Picture at the Oscars. So, like, it's going to be interesting to see which, if any of those movies gets the Best Picture nomination, because that could be your Best Actress winner, potentially.
I wonder if the Netflix factor will help Olivia Colman, because The Lost Daughter is very easily accessible to all 160,000 SAG members. They don't have to go on a platform to watch it. They could just, switch on Netflix and watch it.
Talking about moving on to the supporting categories where we had some surprises, let's talk about male actor in a supporting role. We had 3 of the 5 we were expecting. Cody Smith-McPhee, the frontrunner for Power of the Dog, Troy Kotsur for Coda, Jared Leto for House of Gucci. And then the 2 Belfast actors were snubbed, and in their place, we have Ben Affleck for The Tender Bar, the only nomination for that film, and Bradley Cooper for Licorice Pizza, the only nomination for that film. So I feel like personally, this lineup shaped up really well for either Cody Smith-McPhee, because, he got Kieran Hines out of the way, and Troy Kotsur, who also, like, I feel like he could emerge as the Ya Jung Yoon in this category, like last year's for Minari, this lovable character, this actor who's not like a household name in the US, and just becomes like, takes a wide open category and shuts the door like really quickly. What do you think, Denton?
Yeah, this is interesting because I don't know if Ben Affleck and Bradley Cooper will take those performances through to the Oscars. I think that they're both respected and well liked among their peers. So them sort of surprising. I wouldn't be surprised if those Belfast actors come back and replace them at the Oscars when that happens. And Jared Leto he's getting in everywhere. So that was a little bit of a surprise for me. I had pulled him out. But I think this is good news for Cody Smith-McPhee, who some people thought might be a little bit vulnerable, and this lineup might make things a little more strong for him.
A lot of people are saying Bradley wouldn't get in because his screen time is so minimal in Licorice Pizza. So this just goes to show, don't listen to the pundits. If someone gives a good performance, whether it's 2 minutes or 2 hours, they could be nominated. I don't know if he could win. I think Cody could be that type of role who wins everything at every award show. He just won the Globe last week. Not that anyone cared or even noticed. Jared Leto is also interesting because he has the transformative physical performance, which voters love. But Troy Kotsur gives the huggable dad performance. And, he's the only one that made me tear up out of these 5. Ben Affleck, I just saw the Tender Bar this week for finally saw it, and he was surprisingly lovable in it. This is a good category. I'm just gonna keep going with Cody at every award show until Cody loses.
Yeah, he's one of those actors who is just like, you know what, he's not losing yet, so I'm gonna keep him there until I see the tide start to turn.
If someone had spotted me like a secret, like, we're gonna tell you Bradley Cooper is nominated, I would have put him in for Nightmare Alley and still not Licorice Pizza. So I was not even close to the mark in this category.
I had Licorice Pizza getting in for ensemble until yesterday. I took it out and I put in Mass, which I just want to give a shout out to Mass. That was one of the ensembles of the decade. So I'm so sorry you didn't get in. I'm so sorry Ann Dow didn't get in, but we love you anyways.
Yeah, no ensemble nomination for Mass is like, a lot of these are great nominees, but that almost invalidates the category. Like, how do you not nominate Mass of all movies for that cast? But speaking of Nightmare Alley, moving over to supporting actress, that was one of our surprises. Cate Blanchett getting nominated for Nightmare Alley. She had a couple supporting roles in the running. It was this and Don't Look Up. I do think Nightmare Alley was the likelier if she was going to get nominated. But she is joining, the three we were predicting: Katrina Balfe, Ariana DeBose, and Kirsten Dunst. And another who was been hanging on the bubble, who I want to win this so badly. But at this point, I just wanted to be nominated at the Oscars. Is Ruth Negga for Passing, which is a film that hasn't done as well this season as I think it's deserved to do. She's also on the BAFTA long list, as is Tessa Thompson. Very happy to see that. I feel like Ariana, Kirsten, Katrina, I feel like that's our three to win. We already talked about this a little. What do you think, Marcus, about how this is going to shape up?
I'm gonna stick with Ariana. Ever since I saw West Side Story about a month ago, I said, she's winning, and I'm not a huge Broadway fan. I'm not really aware of other things she's done. So for me, this was kind of her breakthrough role, and she completely blew me away. She's hosting SNL out of nowhere this weekend, which is the perfect time for that to happen. So I'm just going to go with Ariana. Even though West Side Story was snubbed, I'm not holding that against her.
I'm going with Ariana too. And I was happy to see Cate Blanchett get in. I loved Nightmare Alley. And it's interesting because she was shortlisted at BAFTA for Don't Look Up. And I think SAG is the group that got the performance right for her on this one. But I'm going to stick with Ariana.
Which, speaking of Cate Blanchett, also with Don't Look Up, she now sets a new record for the most SAG ensemble nominations for any actor. So she could have gotten in for one of these or both of these. She got in for Don't Look Up in the ensemble category. She also got in for all three of the Lord of the Rings films, plus The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. What else did she get in for? The Aviator, and something in between there that I'm blanking on now again. I did write an article about it, so I knew it when it mattered. You can go read my article.
I forget my articles 1 hour after I've written them.
I do remember that her last ensemble nomination was actually Curious Case of Benjamin Button. So she got all of those nominations within like 6-7 years, which was pretty impressive.
Do you want to talk about stunts real fast? We always kind of ignore it, but
yeah, it is an interesting category this year. The nominees are, we've got 2 Marvel movies, though neither of them Spider-Man, Black Widow and Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings, plus a couple of MGM United Artists movies, The Matrix, 2 Warner Brothers movies, Dune and Matrix Resurrections, and then the United Artists MGM movie, No Time to Die. I think Dune is the one of these that's likely a Best Picture nominee, and I feel like that's just kind of going to be an almost automatic win. What do you think, Addendum?
I'm the same way. Dune is the Best Picture possibility here. So, and it's it's kind of the least like the others in some ways. Although No Time to Die has been doing really good on the award circuits. They've been doing well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that come up. Shang-Chi was great, but this could go anyway. So I'm just going to go with the safe bet, which I think is Dune.
I think Dune is winning, but if Spider-Man was here, I would be predicting Spider-Man because just, I think it's the 7th or 8th highest grossing movie of all time. And I really hope it gets some Oscar nominations in maybe visual effects, maybe sound, whatever. But when a movie does that well, it deserves awards from the industry that it's helping to save. But yeah, I'm going to go with Dune.
Yeah, I do think No Time to Die has a shot because a lot of these others are also like visual effects extravaganzas, and No Time to Die feels like the more stunt, driven of these. So I think that has a shot, but honestly, I feel like Dune probably just kind of takes it by default.
And No Time to Die probably has several good shots at the Oscars as well. Billie Eilish, of course, for song, but sound and other categories these James Bond films do well in.
Yeah, so that is the SAG Award nominations for film. Our opinions on these will surely change as the season progresses and other awards announce, and we get a clearer picture of how things are going on the way to the Oscars. Until we see you again, you can predict the SAG Awards at goldderby.com, as well as the Oscars, the Critics' Choice Awards, the Grammys, the Billboard charts, the box office charts, so many different things you can predict at Gold Derby, and more to come as we get more Guild nominations and industry and other nominations. So keep coming back. Keep making your predictions, keep proving us wrong, as many of you do every single time, and we will see you again soon.